Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Trax channel. Today, I am here with Laura Hay. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, Faith. I'm great. Thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So today we're talking about what the next generation of supply chain leadership looks like. In the past, our last episode, we did talk about women in leadership with supply chain and your thoughts. So we're going to touch a little bit on that again today, but also some more trending questions that people are talking about right now in the industry. The first question is, supply chains are faced constantly with disruption over the past few years. What leadership qualities are most critical today that weren't as important 5 years ago?
So 5 years ago, I think leaders were primarily focused on optimization and efficiency. Today, those things definitely still matter, but the reality is that we're leading in an environment of constant disruption. Whether it's geopolitical challenges, inflation, labor shortages, changing customer expectations, or technology shifts, uncertainty has become the norm. So because of that, agility has become one of the most important leadership qualities. Leaders need to make decisions with incomplete information. They need to be prepared to adapt quickly when circumstances change. And I think communication is equally critical. During uncertainty, people don't expect leaders to have every single answer, but they do expect transparency, they do need clarity, and they definitely need confidence in the journey that you're taking them on. I'd also add that resilience and stakeholder management, they're absolutely key. Supply chains are more interconnected than ever, and success depends on aligning customers, suppliers, internal teams, and partners around a common objective. The leaders who thrive today are the ones who can bring people together and maintain momentum, even when the path forward is not completely clear. And we're seeing that, as I said, uncertainty has definitely become the norm.
Absolutely. So as someone leading strategic accounts and customer success, how has the relationship between customer experience and supply chain performance evolved?
I think one of the biggest changes I've seen is the evolution from a supplier relationship to a true partnership model. Historically, many customer relationships were transactional. So a customer would tell a provider what they wanted, the provider's role was simply to execute. And today that is no longer enough. The complexity of global supply chains means that customers are looking for partners who can bring insight, challenge assumptions, and help them make better decisions. They want organizations that understand not just their business, but also the broader market, industry trends, best practices. At Trax, we're in a unique position because we've spent years working across global clients, industries, countries, currencies, transportation modes. And we see a huge volume of data and operational activity across the supply chain ecosystem, which gives us a perspective that individual organizations often can't see on their own. And what that's allowed us to do is move beyond simply servicing the customers to become trusted advisors. We can help customers understand what good looks like, where opportunities exist, where risks are emerging, and we can help them with how others are solving similar challenges. Customer success it's no longer a post-sale function. It's become a strategic business capability. Success isn't measured by whether we've delivered a service, it's measured by whether we've helped the customer achieve their objectives and create tangible business outcomes. And the strongest customer relationships today are built on trust, they're built on transparency, and they're built on shared goals. When customers view you as a partner rather than a vendor, I can really see that the conversation changes from please do this for me to help me solve this problem. And that's where the greatest value is created for both sides.
I love that so much. Yes. So this actually, and I told you before, this is like my favorite question, I think, today, but you've built a successful career in an industry where women are still underrepresented, which we've talked about in past episodes. In leadership, what strengths do you think women bring to supply chain leadership that organizations need more of today?
I think one of the biggest strengths that many women bring to leadership is the ability to balance people, priorities, and complexity simultaneously. Supply chain leadership today isn't just about processes, systems, and KPIs. It's about influencing people, managing competing priorities, building relationships, and helping teams navigate change. And those skills have become increasingly important as supply chains have become more complex and interconnected. Many women naturally develop strengths in communication, stakeholder management, emotional intelligence, collaboration, and adaptability. And what's interesting is that a lot of those skills aren't necessarily learned in a classroom or a corporate training program. So if you think about it, for years, many women who are mothers, they spend years coaching, teaching, and guiding from day one. They're teaching someone how to communicate, how to solve problems, how to tie their shoes, how to build confidence, how to handle setbacks, and eventually how to become independent. So they're constantly adapting the approach based on the individual, because what works for one child doesn't necessarily work for another. And when you think about it, that's leadership. As leaders, we're often doing exactly the same thing. We're helping people grow, we're building confidence, coaching through challenges, adapting our communication style, and creating environments where other people can succeed. I also think that women are often exceptionally strong at stakeholder management because we're used to balancing multiple perspectives and finding common ground. In supply chain leadership, you're constantly bringing together customers, suppliers, operations teams, finance teams, technology teams, and executives who all have different priorities. And success comes from alignment, not from the authority. The data supports the value of diversity in leadership. So McKinsey's research has repeatedly shown that organizations with greater gender diversity in leadership are more likely to outperform financially than those with less diverse leadership teams. So for me, the conversation isn't really about whether women lead better than men. It's about recognizing that the leadership qualities organizations need most today, which I think are communication, empathy, resilience, adaptability, and the ability to lead through complexity. It's about recognizing that those leadership qualities are qualities that many women bring in abundance. The industry has made progress, but there's still work to do. The more diverse perspectives that we have around the table, the better equipped we'll be to solve the increasingly complex challenges facing global supply chains.
Absolutely. What a great answer. I thank you for sharing that. I feel like so proud right now. We're going to take it over, Laura. Oh, you and me, girl. Okay, so the next question is, many organizations are investing heavily in AI and automation. Where do you see technology creating the biggest impact in supply chain operations over the next few years?
I believe the biggest impact will come from better visibility, stronger predictive capabilities, and faster decision making. For years, organizations have been collecting enormous amounts of supply chain data, but much of it has been difficult to turn into actionable insights. And AI has the potential to change that by identifying patterns, predicting risks, and highlighting opportunities before they become major issues. I also see significant opportunity around customer experience. Customers increasingly expect real-time visibility, proactive communication, and faster responses. And technology can help organizations deliver all of those things more effectively. But what I don't believe is that AI will replace people. I think the real value comes from empowering people. So if you think of it, when technology removes repetitive tasks and surfaces insights faster, it allows supply chain professionals to focus on what humans do best, which is solving complex problems, building relationships, making strategic decisions. So I don't think the future is AI versus people. I think it's AI and people working together to make smarter decisions faster.
Absolutely. I completely agree. So the last question is, you've managed global teams, complex enterprise programs. What's the biggest misconception people have about leading large-scale transformation initiatives?
I love this one. The biggest misconception is that transformation is primarily a technology project. In my experience, technology is rarely the reason that a transformation succeeds or fails, but people are. So organizations often invest enormous amounts of time selecting platforms, defining requirements, planning implementations, but they underestimate the importance of communication, engagement, and adoption. And I've seen fantastic technology struggle because people didn't understand the vision, weren't involved in the journey, or weren't given the support that they needed to embrace the change. Successful transformation is really about helping people move from where they are today to where the organization needs to be tomorrow. And that requires communication, it requires trust, transparency, and a clear understanding of why the change matters. I think that technology is the enabler, but people are the catalyst. And if you get the people piece right, then the technology becomes much easier to implement successfully.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Laura. And I mean, you're just so fun to engage with and talk with. All these like really big questions, I think, that people are talking about. So I take a few weeks break, and then we will be back, and we will talk to you.
We'll be back with our suntans because we're going on our vacation.
Oh yes, we will be back with our suntans. I love it. I love it. All right, Laura, we will talk again soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.